As a nutritionist, I think that sardines are one of the healthiest foods you could possibly eat, but there also can't be too much of a good thing. And with the recent viral nutrition trend that I'm sure you've heard of, you absolutely need to know two really important things about sardines first. So today I'm sharing what happens when you eat sardines daily, the major problem with sardine fasting, and how to use sardines properly to achieve a lasting sustainable fat loss goal. I'll also be answering questions like how many should you eat per day and do you need to watch out for mercury? So let's dive into the first thing that can happen when you eat sardines daily, and it's that you could lose a lot of weight. High protein diets in general, whether they come from sardines or not, have consistently been found to be one of the best ways to achieve a weight loss goal and to actually keep that weight off. Sardines are both high in protein and high in high quality protein. Protein quality is measured by something called the DIAS score. Putting it simply, the higher the DIAS score, the higher quality of the protein, and therefore more of the protein benefits you can expect to get, where the opposite is true when you have a low DIAS score. And sardines are a very high DIAS protein. By eating sardines on the daily, you're getting a really high quality protein source to help make it so much easier to burn fat as fuel. But that's actually not the only reason why it's really great at helping to support a weight loss goal. And that leads me to the second benefit of having sardines daily, and that's your cravings can stop, or at least really greatly lower. Sardines are rich in both protein and fat. Combined, these raise satiety hormones like peptide YY and CCK, and these tell your brain that you're full, you're satisfied, and you don't need to keep eating. But it also helps to calm cravings by helping to balance blood sugar levels. So by eating sardines on the daily, you not only are more full and satisfied, but it can also result in more balanced blood sugar, which can essentially shut off cravings for things like ice cream, cookies, candies, all the things that don't really support our goals. The third thing that can happen is your triglycerides could massively improve. Lower triglycerides can really lower your risk of heart disease and stroke, and studies show that getting fish-based omega-3s in your diet can really help to reduce those triglycerides. It does so by increasing the activity of an enzyme called lipoprotein lipase, which essentially acts like a vacuum cleaner, sucking out circulating triglycerides to bring it down. Okay, the fourth, probably underlooked benefit is that bone health can improve. And that's thanks to a sneaky non-dairy source of calcium in sardines, which if you aren't used to eating sardines on the daily, you might not know this fun fact, but sardine bones are small enough that you can actually safely consume them, and it's an amazing source of calcium. Just one tin of sardines gives you about 15 to 30% of your daily calcium needs, which is kind of a lot. The only other food that really surpasses that is going to be dairy. So if you can't eat dairy, this is a huge win. Okay, the fifth benefit is that thyroid health can improve. Now, this is mostly if you aren't already getting selenium on the daily, because selenium is needed to make our thyroid actually function properly. And if you're not getting enough selenium, it can make you feel sluggish and just generally low energy because your thyroid isn't really functioning well. And sardines are another really great source of selenium. Just going back to that one tin a day, you get about 50% of your selenium needs. And the sixth major benefit is that you miss out on that huge mercury issue that other larger fish can have. Sardines are small fish, so they literally just don't have enough time to be in the ocean to actually build up enough toxic exposure to things like mercury. Now, with all that being said, you might be tempted to test out this recent viral trend of a sardine fast, which is essentially where for 1 to 3 days, you only have sardines. The intent is to really kickstart weight loss, to help push the body into ketosis and fat burning even faster, and to be getting it from nutrient-dense sources. So on paper, it could sound like a really great idea. But before you do that, let me just warn you about two big things. The first is probably the most prevalent that I see with clients all the time, and it's that it's just another quick fix. This is on par with what I've seen people practically using a 24-hour fast with. Can a 24-hour fast have a lot of amazing health benefits? Of course. Are most people actually using it in a way that does help to support those benefits? Absolutely not. And I say this from practical experience of working with people one-on-one for nearly 10 years now, and the sardine fast is in that same category. Because eating just sardines on the daily, not exactly the most exciting thing. It isn't realistic and it's not really practical. Will you lose weight doing it? Most likely, yes. But the big thing I caution against using something like a sardine fast is that if you lose weight this way, it might really stick into your brain that quick, unenjoyable fixes such as this are really the only way to break through a plateau and see results, which you'll understandably feel discouraged because 99.999% of people just couldn't possibly eat just sardines on a daily basis, especially in the world we live in now. But when you actually do address a weight loss journey in the correct way, focusing on protein, fat, and fiber, you can actually get pretty dang similar results while still eating meals that you love and not having to count every calorie. This makes not only achieving that initial weight loss feel a lot easier, but then something that you can actually sustain for the long term and not have to keep going back and forth yo-yo dieting. Women in my community are seeing lasting sustainable results, losing 20, 30, 40, even 70 pounds and keeping it off without having to buy bulk packages of sardines at Costco. Okay, the second major issue is that it is lacking fiber, like completely completely no fiber. Sardines are very nutrient dense and a very not problematic food, but it's just one food. And what this one food is specifically lacking is fiber. And fiber isn't actually used as fuel for our body, but it is used as fuel by our gut bacteria. Without fiber, our gut bacteria can literally start to starve off, and gut health can really greatly suffer. And especially because women tend to suffer with gut health issues at such a higher rate than men, this is something you really want to consider. Now, if you do want to reap the benefits of eating sardines without the full-blown unsustainable sardine fast, here's exactly how you can do it. The first thing is to eat 1 can a day. That can just act as your protein source for one meal. You can toss it on a salad, you can pair it with like a chickpea pasta, or if you're not very carb sensitive, you can pair it with some sourdough bread. You can even just sub out tuna and use sardines to make something like a sardine salad. And with just 1 tin a day, you're getting a lot of those same benefits of reduced hunger, increased omega-3 fats, and the reduced cravings that can come with eating higher quality sources of protein and fat. Just remember that sardines are acting as your protein source, and you still need to balance it out with high quality sources of fat and fiber to see the best weight loss and wellness benefits. And then the second thing, or just not eat it at all. Honestly, if you hate it, you don't need to eat it in order to achieve lasting sustainable weight loss results or wellness results. Other foods can cover pretty similar nutritional benefits and weight loss perks. You can get your omega-3s from salmon, and you can get literally all of your daily selenium needs from just a couple Brazil nuts. And you can get calcium from Greek yogurt. In fact, more calcium from Greek yogurt. The goal is always to not only eat foods that support your goals, but also that you actually truly love and enjoy. Because when you actually are enjoying the food that you're eating, you are so much more likely to stick to it. And it doesn't feel like something that you need to white knuckle your way through instead. Ow. Which, speaking of sourdough, if you want to know what happens when you eat sourdough on a daily basis, make sure you check out this video next. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed and delicious information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.